Hey guys, let's draw a Keyblade Weilder. Jump right into this. So immediately we have Sora. He's the protagonist. I'm gonna be basing my Keyblade Weilder off of his style. So my character's gonna be around the same age. Now I'm currently drawing on a layer that I create above the background layer, and this is basically gonna be like my sketch layer. I'm just gonna go here, draw different gestures and stuff like that, and kind of see, what kind of pose I want to put him in. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm going through, a couple here, but I think I'm just going to do the first one. It seems to be the easiest because I don't know what this character is going to look like yet. I'm making him up on the fly. So I lower the opacity of the sketch layer and I basically make a rough layer where I'm going to break down the basic shapes of the character. And drawing some little details, particularly the areas I have problems with, which include the face and hands, which are the most distinguishable parts in a character design. So I'm like, okay, let me, make it like Sora's face, keep it in that style or whatever, don't any extra features, and let me work out these hands, because hands are a very, very, very difficult thing for me, and I think for most people, but for me, I just always have trouble with them, so I try to knock them out as soon as possible. Now I'm going about, again, with the rough layer turned on, drawing on it, doing out the sketches, working out these proportions. Getting some design ideas based off of Sora's shoes. I said I'm going to make some boots, but then I also had some other ideas in my head, but you'll see those come to fruition later. Now, as I move on to Sora's hair, I create another layer because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to work it out. So this is kind of like my hair rough layer, I guess you could say. And I'm just trying to get the shape of what Sora's hair is, and then now changing the texture so that it match, my fluffy curly hair in its natural state. As a kid, I always wanted an afro, and the few times that I did have one, it was my pride and joy. So this is kind of to bring that back from my past and, make the character more like me. Just like with the previous layer, I've reduced the opacity so that, again, I can draw over it. You'll see me constantly draw something, reduce the opacity, and then draw over it. Now, I know doing this with this method, I'm going to eventually end up with a lot of layers, but the actual line art that I do like, I'm going to put that all on a single layer. Essentially, I'm testing things out as I design this character and seeing what I like and then keeping it to commit. So far, this looks pretty good, and I kind of like it. So we're just going to keep moving. We got the head and the hair taken care of. Now kind of on for the clothes. Lord, okay, so I love Tetsuya Nomura's style. May his spirit bless me, and I'm able to pull out something that's in the realm of Kingdom Hearts, but again, staying true to my fashion instincts, I guess you could say. Now, Sora's pretty much wearing a bodysuit with the coat over it and some shoes and gloves. I'm going to see if I can do something that would be more along the lines of what I would wear even now or when I was a kid. I don't think my style has changed that much since then. So I'm drawing the pullover and I'm bringing down Sora to continue the reference, stay in the spirit. And I'm thinking about, what is he going to wear? Maybe some pants? And I'm like, nah, let's put him in some joggers. Joggers are cool. Now, I wrote up one pants leg, which is supposed to be like LL Cool J, because that's what I did when I was a kid. I think everybody did that. And so here we go. The shoes. I mentioned before Timberland. So these are going to be loosely based off of that design. A little bit simplified, but then also, with a slightly Kingdom Hearts twist on them. Mostly referring to the proportions. Now, I'm playing around with the jeggings legging right here because I'm getting an idea, which again, you'll see come through later. And when I get to coloring this thing, because I'm going to take the color, I decided to add some color breaks in the pants. I didn't want them all to be one solid color. And I think that just is more interesting to me. And so here we go with the other shoe. Designing shoes is not something that I've practiced in the past. I do it when I have to. But it is definitely not a comfortable area for me. However, when I do it, I, tend to hopefully be successful as far as I can see. But the thing is, I'm working off an image in my head. I'm not usually using any like references or anything like that. And I'm mostly referring to the shoe that I drew previously, which was much easier because it was a front view. Now I'm having to do the side view. I have to think about form and how things turn in space. And my brain, quite frankly, isn't used to doing that. I'm not a professional designer or anything like that. I usually draw for my own pleasure. So I'm really trying to just pay attention and from drawing videos I've seen other people do, and then from my peers who do draw professionally, I'm just trying to think about how they would think and approach things and pay attention to certain details that would make this work from a different angle, because designing is hard, essentially. And apparently so is spelling. But anyways, So let's try to finish out this shoe. It's looking pretty good, and I finally have it looking like a shoe turned like the other shoe, but turned, you know, sideways. So add a little detail there at the bottom. I just didn't want that big. I didn't want that heel to be so just big and solid. I wanted again a color break in there. Again, adding another line just for the color break. Now, this is an interesting thing I'm adding to the joggers you don't see often. I'm actually adding a little opening in the joggers. I used to have these pair of pants that would unbutton and become shorts, and so I'm kind of just throwing it back to that. Here we go. The Keyblade. The Keyblade is not organic. It is something that is structured, and I just have a hard time with things that require precision. And so I'm trying to use this rectangle tool to kind of help me with my lines and everything like that, because again, like you guys, I'm doing the best that I can, and I may not be drawing the most efficient way, but this is how my brain is solving the problems I'm coming across, and having to draw things in forms like that. Even with the reference there, as you can tell, I'm struggling with the perspective. I'm like, I don't know how to turn things in space. I got lucky with the shoes. I could be running out of juice at this point, but I'm going to keep moving forward because I'm excited to basically finish this drawing. And I think me actually enjoying drawing, even if I do struggle for it, is the reason I keep doing it, and hopefully be the reason I improve. But at the end of the day, why am I doing this to myself? Nobody asked this of me. I just enjoy the pain of trying to become a better artist. So, with that said, I am now kind of just trying to make the Keyblade not look as crappy, because again, I'm drawing this, it's going to be online. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just like lazy, which I kind of am, but whatever. So, I'm going to try to draw smarter. I'm going to try using the line tool to make the teeth of the Keyblade. I know this is going to be hard for me. So you're about to see a real struggle. Like, again, in hindsight, I probably could have used the pen tool, but no, I don't know what I'm doing. So I decided to make a bunch of lines, and I'm going to draw them together and kind of make them fit. Yeah, I could have probably just traced the keyboard, but I'm trying to avoid tracing here, okay? I've done that in the past, and, you know, it's cool, but there's something to drawing something that is not traced that kind of gives a little bit more life, and I'm trying to maintain that. I want this to have a little bit more character, at least a little bit more me, and not look so dead. I'm really confused at this point. I made all these lines, it makes sense in my mind, it doesn't, so I'm like, screw it. I'm just using the lines as a guide, and now I'm going to draw over them because I realize at this point, when it comes to geometric shapes, I apparently don't have the range. I just can't do it. Like, there was a true struggle happening right here with this Keyblade, and I'm really trying my best to figure it out. Like, it's legit difficult. Screw you, Keyblade. I'm moving on. I am moving on. I need to move on. I need to move on. So, with that said, I'm going to go back up to the top of the Keyblade and just kind of clean it up a little bit. Unfortunately, I realized that a lot of what I did on the shoe is going to be covered by the Keyblade, but whatever, live and learn. We didn't plan this out perfectly, but it's coming along. So here we go, going back to these hands. Hands being my issue. I'm trying to make sure that they're just as huge as Sora's. I think I did end up drawing them a little bit smaller, but that's fine because I don't think it's a bad thing or it's noticeable. I, in real life, have really large hands, but, you know, whatever, it's just fine. It's just fine. Now, when it comes to the hands, I don't know if I'm going to do gloves or not. Like, I might keep them bare. I might do gloves. I'm kind of undecided here. So I'm thinking it might be best if I just go ahead and make them gloves. Because that's what Sora's wearing, and he's inspiration. So I'll just go with that. So I don't have an opinion either way. Now, when it comes to these gloves, they're not going to be any plain gloves. I'm going to have to like put like maybe like a watch over the ends of them or something like that. I used to like big watches when I was a kid. Now I don't really care too much about them. And then again, adding in a trim on the inside of the gloves just to again break up the color. Now for the belt, I'm thinking maybe I'll put an X, something, you know, there for Zaylin. You know, just throw like, you know, a little shape in there or whatever. Something to work with, because again, I don't really have a plan going into this other than the fact that I want a Kingdom Hearts themed thumbnail. based off of me as a Keyblade wielder. So we start off with the X, and then we try to figure something out. Again, I'm just making this up as I go along. Like, I don't really have anything in mind. Like, I'm flipping the camera around, just trying to, see how this looks. Lucky an X is a very symmetric shape, so it shouldn't be too hard. I just have to consider the perspective of, it being 3/4 and having to be smaller, the further to the left or further back it is. But I hope that made sense to you guys. And I just threw on some wings because everybody wants to fly. It's a good reason, right? Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Everybody wants to fly. So boom. When it came down to the belt, the belt and the joggers don't normally have a strap like that, but I'm putting that there. That's actually in reference to, if I remember correctly, Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora has these like straps on his jacket. I kind of like those shapes, so I just add them there and made them a part of the joggers. Are these really joggers at this point? I don't even know. So now I'm just kind of floating around, seeing if there's any areas that I want to nitpick at, kind of like poke or maybe define more, so that when I get to coloring, it's a little bit easier for me. Now, again, big old giant space on the pullover. I'm going to add something to make it a little bit more regal. So I'm adding some wannabe embroidery. Again, I don't really know what is happening with these shapes, but at the moment they make me feel good, and so I'm going to keep them there. Put the heart in, of course, reference to Kingdom Hearts. And I'm going to put some little like heartless emblem on my shoulder pads, because the little shadow heartless are pretty awesome. Oh look, I've come back to the Keyblade. You know why? Because every Keyblade needs a keychain. I'm going to make a very simplified chain. It's not a big priority for me, and I'm going to put it behind the Keyblade. So I'm just going to keep it simple. And watch as I successfully use a shape tool to make the Mickey Mouse emblem. Yeah, I'm proud of myself there. Yeah, most successful shape ever. All right. So I'm just going to go through right now and kind of clean this up a bit. Just kind of like working things out. I noticed that there is a little break between the hilt and the blade of the Keyblade. So I kind of drew that in there. And then because I put so much effort in this Keyblade, I am literally going to take all the layers for it, and I'm going to copy them and merge them into one. Now, I made an old folder in my layers list, and anything that I'm not going to be using anymore, I put in the old folder. So doing the same thing with the clothes. All the liner that I have with the clothes layer, I am going to, again, duplicate it and just put it in the old folder. Merge them into one layer. So now my layers are a little bit cleaner, question mark. And again, I'm going through again, just cleaning it up, just adding little small things that I think I might need to kind of flesh out the characters. Okay, so that was crazy. We're not gonna do the crazy eyes thing. No pupils. So this should be good enough for color. Now for the hard part. Who am I kidding? All of this is hard. Coloring is not one of my strengths. It's not. So I'm hesitating, cleaning up the lines a little bit, kind of thinking about what colors I'm going to use, and I decide, okay, here we go. I'm going to start off with beige. Make the hoodie beige. And so I start coloring it, and then something comes to mind. Because I don't know exactly what colors I'm going to choose, I'm going to use a unique method to make it easier and safe for me. So I am creating a solid color layer mask. And basically what that does, it allows me to change the colors on the fly for any area that's painted on the mask. So with that said, on the layer, you see the white box that's to the right. I'm going to click in that white box to highlight it, and then I'm going to fill it with the color black, which basically erases everything on the mask. And then I'm going to take a brush, and on that mask, I am going to start to color with white, and that will cause the color to appear. So make sure you have the mask selected and not the actual color swatch or whatever on the layer. So got my white brush and we start coloring. Now, the benefit of coloring things this way, again, is that I am able to change the colors that I've used on the fly if I decide to change my mind. Now, I'm starting to have a really clear idea of what colors I want on this. And I'm just gonna start, blocking those out every time with a solid color. When you're using this method, just like with the line work where I've made, different layers for different things or whatever, I am going to have to label all of these so that I don't get lost, because I plan on having a lot of different colors. I really just find this to be a safer method of coloring for me personally, especially when I don't know what the colors are going to be, or if I don't have a specific image in mind. So yeah, going on to the Tims, my boots, classic Tim color. I think I got it around there. I say that I don't have, you know, an idea in mind, but yet I call out classic colors, like I know what I'm doing. So far, you know, I'm liking that. You know, the blue jeans, you know, with the orange shoes and the beige top. Like, that's pretty cool. Get some yellow shoelaces. I feel like that is the color that Timberland shoelaces are. And then they're kind of like dark in the back. So these are literally looking like some Kingdom Hearts Tims, and that's what I wanted. And quite frankly, that's where they're going to stay. Now I just added, again, that color break. I put it right there. Just made the same color as the shoelaces. Like, I just wanted something different there so that it wasn't all the same color as the sole. Now, if you notice, I am now putting a solid color underneath everything. And this is to kind of help me, this will be to help me color things in the future in case I have any white spots. So I decided to go with this green in the background as I'm coloring the hair. And that way I can see any areas where I would have missed. It's much easier when there's a background to color. So I can avoid those color gaps. Now I'm going on to my beloved skin color. I think that goes well with the purple hair. I try not to do black hair. I usually have some type of tint to it. I feel like I got that from Sailor Moon. But anyways, there we go. Get that caramel skin in there. It's not really caramel. It's a little yellow. Okay, there we go. It's a little bit better. A little bit better. And again, the layers are really just helping here as I'm working on this. I'm going to call it embroidery on the shirt. And then when I'm playing around with the hoodie, doing the exact same thing. Now these gloves, I put that break in there. What color am I going to choose for them? I think I'm going to go with something along the lines of teal. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Oh, okay. So, these pants. I want a color break. I thought about it. I'm just going to go with a different shade of blue. Something that maybe is a little bit lighter. Now, can we just take a moment to look at this buckle? I kind of want this buckle in real life. Put some, like, you know, copper tones on there or whatever, and then make those wings, you know, a little light gray. Yeah, a little light gray. I don't know why I did that. And so the belt is, you know, it's coming along, you know. I kind of am really liking where this is going. Who knows? Tomorrow I might wake up and hate it. Now, the Keyblade, I'm doing all of that on one layer. I'm not using a solid color because the Keyblade color is not going to change. It's very specific for the classic Keyblade. And with that said, I feel very confident how I'm going to color it. So it's just one single layer, and I'm just working it out. Now, when the layers start to overlap, you may see some areas where you over-colored or color over to another area. Just go through and just clean them up, just change them. Playing with the socks here. I think I wore predominantly light socks. And there goes my little heartless, also in dark purple with yellow eyes. And there we go. Okay, this is definitely coming along. I'm going to keep the embroidery as purple. I think it's just a nice little like accent, and it kind of goes with my hair. And it looks, the purple and beige look really well. Now, this watch situation I was going to go, but I decided to just keep it dark and keep it simple. That way, what's on my wrist will connect what's around my ankles on my Tims. Now, the eye color. I always try to go with some kind of like, you know, exciting or fresh eye color. Normally, I go with like a light brown, but I think this time I'm actually just going to go ahead and make it purple. Fill in the whites there. And I think purple kind of works for this character for an eye color. I know it's unnatural, but hey, this is Kingdom Hearts. And I'm going to add some finishing touches, and boom, there we go. Make sure my background's in a good place, and I am done. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. This is my Keyblade Weilder Zaylin, drawn in the style of Tetsuya Nomura for Kingdom Hearts, or in this case, for my Kingdom Hearts streams. Don't forget to tune in to our Twitch channel as I continue streaming the Kingdom Hearts games. Have you guys ever created Keyblade characters before? Any OCs out there? I would love to see them. Post a link to your art in the comments below and I'll check them out. Regardless, thank you again for tuning in. Hope that you like, share, and subscribe to this video. And see you later, Space Cowboy or Keyblade Weilder. Hello, thanks for watching our video. And if you enjoyed it, please remember to click the like button below and subscribe for more LittleNerdyAX action in the future. Also, don't forget to leave any comments and share it with your friends. We will see you next time. See you later, Space Cowboy.
Boom, you got that one.